Right, hello everyone! Welcome to the final day of E3. E3 ended yesterday, but we've still got 3 videos left to cover. Gonna be very quick, very easy. We've got one coming up now, and it's a press conference. A few of them I'm gonna skim over because some aren't worth really talking about all that much, and others just, do we really need to? So we've got 2 press conferences of Sony's press conference, Ubisoft's press conference, and Super Paper Mario Color Splash. So we're going to get started with Ubisoft's press conference, obviously developed by Ubisoft, and whatever consoles they're putting them on, they're going to put them on. So let's open the chest. We've got 12 games to go through here. Some, again, we can skim over because, I'll be honest, while the press conference was fun, and you know, you had that big opening, and all the way through it the black lady was telling jokes, a lot of the games were quite fucking boring, like really boring. So we can just skim over a few of them, like Just Dance. Great opening, really funny opening with all the people dressed up dancing. It looks great, it looks nice. It's another Just Dance game. What more can you say? You know, like Hatsune Miku, it's a rhythm game. You got a dance pad. You press the buttons with your feet. It's just dance. It's just dance. So you just dance. That's all you do. You just dance. So we can't really go into that too much. All I'll say is it looks pretty good. Like it's very colourful, very bright. Certainly, people who are into the just dancing will enjoy it. So that's that. Because there's nothing else I can say. It's got nice music and nice visuals, but you just dance. Then we've got the Assassin's Creed movie. We don't need to go over that. Then we've got 2 Ubisoft VR, because once again, everybody wouldn't stop banging on about VR. Sony's the biggest one that was full-on VR. So luckily, we don't have to deal with them yet, because, oh, Jesus. But we got 2 VR games that came out. We got an Eagles game. I hope you're ready for bloody motion sickness, because
fucking eagle!
You have this bird, and you have to tilt your head up and down and side to side while you're flying round to grab this rabbit and take it to your nest. I hope you don't have motion sickness, because if you play that, you certainly will be very sick, and that's all there was to it, because VR, who gives a shit about VR? And then we've got, because again, by the way, actually that's going to be one final E3 video that I'm going to make tomorrow. Like tomorrow I'm probably going to make E3 wrap up and VR, because we are going to wind down, but yeah, VR needs its own separate video. Then we got a Star Trek game of He's Dead Jim, which was Star Trek, like you're on the bridge, and you get 3 other people, like one of you's the captain, you get 3 other people, you have to talk to each other, and like, you know, Mr. Spock, activate shields, Scotty Boy, activate the warp factor 9, and then the guys have to press the buttons on the desk. That's all there is to it. It's just a Star Trek bridge. It's just the Star Trek bridge. And, you know, if you don't have friends, then you're going to be doing it all yourself. Mr. Spyro, activate the lasers. Aye, Captain Spyro. And you, Mr. Spyro, activate the shields. Yes, Mr. Spyro. Because I don't believe that it's going to be full online. It's going to be local. So I hope you've got 4 people that have all got those stupid headsets. So, He's Dead Jim. Yeah, VR is dead Jim. We can skim over that one. Then we've got the Division Underground DLC. Again, we can just skim over this. I mean, the name certainly fits, you know. All the times you were falling through the floor in Division, I guess that's how it works, you know. You fall through the floor, but rather than just falling into the abyss, now when you fall through the floor, you fall into the underground. So, very appropriate name for that DLC there. But, you know, the Division is still a buggy, broken mess, so yeah. And the Division's pretty bad, so we don't really need to go over that. Trials Blood Dragon, again, it's a Trials DLC, it's a Trials game. there's nothing really more you can say. Looks very nice, looks very pretty, got some good music. The two guys in the tiger outfits that were announcing it were mad bastards, really good, but again, it's just trials. It is, you know, it's like Happy Wheels. You move your bike and you do some tricks and you hope that you don't die while you're doing your bike. It's Happy Wheels. I know Trials came out first, but we're just using this as a comparison between the two, but it's Happy Wheels. You have a bike and you try not to die. There you go. It's more Trials. What else can I say except it looks very pretty, so we can skim over that one right away. Grow Up, sequel to Grow Home. Grow Home, very fantastic game. This is our indie darling of Ubisoft, exclusive to EA Origins, I think, but they might release it on, sorry, why am I saying EA Origins? Ubisoft, you've got to have Uplay to do Grow Up. Fucking Uplay. Stop using Uplay, you piss me off with Uplay. I mean, probably all these games are going to have Uplay, but this one was specifically mentioned for Uplay because Ubisoft's kind of like funding it or whatever. But Grow Home, very good game. I recommend checking out the original. This one looks pretty good. Like, we're going very far up and we're going like quite wide because Grow Home was just more of a vertical plane, whereas this is both vertical and width based. That's really all he said. Like, the guy announced he was making a sequel to Grow Home because everybody enjoyed Grow Home, but he didn't give us a release date or anything beyond the fact that the red robot's exploring without the care of like the mom mothership computer thing. So that's in development. I'll be excited to keep an eye on that one, but that's all there was for that one, so we can just move on again. Ghost Recon, what was it called? Ghost Recon Tropical. I must have put a T for a reason, but they're in the outback. They're in this desert town in the game. Very big open world, but as Jim Sterling said in a podquisition that I listened to when he was doing this, and I agree with him. Big open world, but there's fuck all in it. Like, he's right. I don't care how big your world is if you can't fill it with anything. Like Fallout 4, and Fallout 4 is bloody small and they still fucked it up. 90% of the map's nothing but a watery ocean. And with this Ghost Recon game, 90% of the map is just nothing but desert and desert shrubs or desert bushes. There's like one or two houses strewn around an empty void, so they can say they've got the biggest open map in the market, but that don't mean shit if you can't fill it up. As for the gameplay, it was all very scripted. You know, they were saying, like, stop the car. And for the sake of the trailer, like, I know that the AI isn't as smart as they were making that AI out to be. Like, when that guy was driving away and he's like, shit, he's taking a left. They could have easily accelerated, taken a shortcut, and just made him hit their car so he's forced to stop. Like, that's all they had to do, just make him hit the car so that the car was forced to stop. Or the guy in the helicopter, you could have just crashed the helicopter down on top of the car and the guy would have been stopped permanently. But for the sake of scripting, they made that chase sequence go on for so long just to make it look big and grand and epic, when really it wasn't. You could stop that car in like 30 seconds of the car starting. So that looks pretty shit. So we'll just skim over that one as well. Because let's face it, all these were pretty boring. You're just more interested in the really good 4. And I say that with giant quotation marks because 2 of them might not be that good. So we move on to South Park, The Fractured Butthole, which was... at first, they started showing the Division Underground trailer, and it had like all of the serious text and stuff. And then, just right at the end, you see Cartman's face. That was a fantastic false lead-in to The Fractured Butthole. Sequel to Stick of Truth, where they've just basically made Stick of Truth again. And Stick of Truth was good. So it's an RPG type game. This time the children are playing superhero rather than fantasy. And there's some extra like resource management, like some of the superheroes can mess with the flow of time, so you can like if like some guy, for example, we'll use the Bahamut argument again. You know, like how Bahamut usually takes 5 turns to charge up the Mega Flare. Well, like, you can wait those 5 turns, but then on the turn that the Mega Flare is about to fire off, for example, you could use your time mechanic to skip forward a turn so that the Mega Flare is cancelled out, because technically that turn happened and the Mega Flare was fired, even though it never was. You just moved time forward. So there's some, like, new time mechanic, so it's deciding, like, when to use it. So there's a little bit of extra strategy involved with the Fractured Butthole, but it still looks fantastic. And I love, like, when they were doing the trailer for it and all the kids were around the table and Cartman was talking about, like, the structure of the Marvel movies, like how we've had Thor, the Dark Worlds, Avengers and stuff, and they just took a poke at the ridiculous Marvel movie timeline. And then he was like, oh, so you just want to jump straight to Civil War? We're going to do Civil War, like taking a shot at Captain America Civil War. So that they've still got that humour. Matt Stone, Trey Parker, always the funniest guys out there, always got the greatest humour ever. So I'm excited for that one, like really excited for that. I love the South Park games. They always find a way to just make me laugh and make me smile, and it's good to see humour in a dying AAA industry. As was our second game, as, you know, fun seriousness. We go from fun, wacky, let's take the piss out of everything, it's nice to see humour in a dying industry, to a game that is, like, miserable and moody and everything needs to die, which is For Honor. However, it's not like just miserable and moody, everything needs to die for no reason. It's actually got, like, reasons to exist, and it's a very Lord of the Ringsy feel, because there's this one woman, we've now got the game ready to release, excuse me, and the story has been revealed, and apparently there's this goddess of war. Oh god, it's a gender-bent Kratos. I can already see all of the fan art. Here it all comes. But yeah, there is a goddess of war that just wants all these tribes to keep fighting because war fuels her power, and something like that in the trailer. Like, eventually the guys in the trailer were put down their weapons to stop fighting, but then the goddess of war shot one of them with an arrow, and they all started fighting again. So she's just like keeping all of these people fighting forever to fuel her power, and they don't know it. Like, they don't know that they're all being played like puppets by the goddess of war. So they just all keep fighting and raiding each other, and we got to see one of the levels where the Vikings raid the Japanese, and it's basically Dynasty Warriors. You smash your way through 1,000 little enemies that don't matter till we get to the boss of the level, except the boss actually has strategy involved, rather than like Hyrule Warriors, let me just take a drink, but rather than like Hyrule Warriors or Dynasty Warriors where even the commander is just like, you know, no issue. He's just basically a smaller enemy with a lot more HP and maybe one fancy attack, but you can still just wail on him till he dies. In For Honor, it's actually got an inventive combat system where the AI responds accordingly to the buttons that you press. So, like, it can block, it can break your block, it can attack. So you have to imply quite a lot of strategy and some very advanced swordplay in order to kill the commanders, and that looks great. That looks really, really good, and I can't wait to play that. In terms of how it looks visually, you know, it's, as I say, because it's all war, it's going to have the brown-grey colour palette, but in this game it does work because they do contrast the brown-grey colour palette with some very bright colours when needed. Like, again, in this opening cutscene when we were going to the Viking ships, you know, the water is very grey, very murky. Sorry, just punched my mic there when I grabbed my cup of tea. But yeah, the water is very grey, very murky. But then all the shields along the side of the Viking ship and the goat head, like the goat head's on fire with this lovely, bright, colourful fire. The shields across the ship are colourful. So, while it is one of these grey-brown dull games, they have contrasted the dullness with some very bright colours when required, so it still has a a very nice visual aesthetic. So that's nice, and as I say, it looks great. I need to play For Honor as well. If there's two games I'm going to take away from Ubisoft and instantly just like snap, can't really snap my fingers, but if there's anything like instantly snap gets in the good chest, it's going to be South Park and For Honor. So that's the thing. Then we got Steep, which looks alright. I mean, it's a sports game. You are on the Alps and it's just basically one giant snowy mountain, and you can choose to do several activities on the mountain, like you can hang glide down to the bottom, you can ski down to the bottom, you can snowboard down to the bottom, you can I think there was something else, but yeah, it's just kind of like a snowboardy sports game. They're hyping it up as some like big thing where you can record your flashbacks and put other people to your flashbacks and set challenges for other people, like do 3 backflips while jumping off this ski jump and stuff. But it's just kind of another sports game, really. Like, I know they're trying to hype it up, but it wasn't anything that special, to be honest with you. I mean, it looks very pretty, you know, if you're sitting on top of the mountain watching the sunset, ooh, gorgeous. But that's pretty much most of AAA now, make it all look very gorgeous. But again, do you want to snowboard to the bottom, or do you want to ski to the bottom, or do you want to hang glide to the bottom? Not really too much to go over with that. But I mean, it still looks alright. And then Watch Dogs 2, where I am very, very disappointed in Ubisoft, because we got to see one full mission inside a building. Like, this guy had to, you know, get a drone, like recon the building, and then once the drone recon the building, he got into the building, put a little RC car into the building, drove it round, plugged the thing in, hacked the car company or whatever he was getting into, hacked the planet. It's kind of like Watch Dogs 1. It's certainly got a little bit more colour and just nearly spilt my tea. It's certainly got a little bit more colour and flair than the original, and you know, the protagonist is a lot more likeable. But again, very disappointed. No dancing donut man in any of that gameplay whatsoever. Why is there no dancing donut man in that gameplay whatsoever? He is the most important character, and if you want me to buy this, I've already told you. If you want, because Watch Dogs 1 was absolute shit. If you want to sell me on this, you need to tell me that I can play as the Dancing Donut Man, or at least give me the option to buy a $5 Dancing Donut Man skin. Because I want the hackers, all these serious hackers, to have to take me seriously while I'm wearing a pink frosted leotard and donut tutu. They can't, but they're going to have to because they're scripted to. So, unless that Dancing Donut Man or a Dancing Donut Man costume shows up, then I'm not interested. You know, I can't give two shits about Watch Dogs 2 because Watch Dogs 1 was bollocks and you already put me off Watch Dogs. And I already know that you're going to have 5 pre-order editions, like 5 different editions. We got to get the chart up again because the chart says, but if, you know what, fine. As long as one of those charts says Dancing Donut Man, everybody will be happy. So yeah, that's Ubisoft's press conference. Let's just run over to the final verdict here. Let me take another drink. Lovely. That's like perfect tea drinking temperature. So Ubisoft, they tried to make it fun. They tried to make it exciting. They did show off some really fun games like For Honor and South Park. When they were talking, though, it did get a little bit boring. But overall, it was a pretty good but average experience. 3 out of 5 on the conference as a whole. And in terms of separation, we've got South Park Fractured Butthole. Looks really good. For Honor, looking pretty damn amazing. Bad Chest. We've got, what have we got? Ghost Recon, just too much open world. They're trying to make the biggest open world but not filling it in with anything. He's Dead Jim, nobody cares. Fucking Eagles, nobody cares because VR is shit. Division Underground, gonna be pretty bad because, you know, the first one is still a buggy broken mess that they refuse to fix. And the Assassin's Creed movie, because Assassin's Creed's done to death and everybody just wants them to stop with Assassin's Creed. Then for our maybe box, you know, Just Dance. I'm not a Just Dance fan, never played it, but I'm sure Just Dance fans are going to love it, so maybe it's going to be good. Watch Dogs 2. I want to give Watch Dogs 2 the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to say it's outright bad like the first one, because at least we haven't got that emotionless Burke from the first one. I don't even remember his name. So I want to give it a chance. I want to, but you're making it hard for me to believe, Ubisoft. So you know, I'm not gonna call it bad straight away. Watch Dogs 2, it's a maybe. It's a maybe. Trials Blood Dragon, it's more Trials. You know, maybe you'll like it. I'm not into Trials myself, but for those that are, maybe. Grow Up. I mean, Grow Home was okay. Like, I enjoyed it, but I don't like the fact that Ubisoft's got control or is funding it, because that means it could lessen the experience. But I like the first one, so maybe it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good. So, there. And then Steep, it's just really a sports game. I mean, it's not even a sports game, but maybe someone will like it. Maybe a few people like Steep. Again, I'm not into sports games, but there you go. That's the Ubisoft press conference. Not bad, not bad. Only 2 more to do now, which is Paper Mario Color Splash and the Sony press conference. So, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you with the last 2 videos of E3. Then tomorrow we'll just do like a closing down roundup with E3 VR and the actual cooldown, where we tally up everything and see how well E3 did itself. But for now, thank you for watching. Tell me what your thoughts were on the Ubisoft press conference. What are you hyped for the most? What are you looking forward to the most? As I say, I'm looking forward to South Park and For Honor the most, but what about you? Are you hyped for Watch Dogs 2? You hyped for the Ghost Recon? Because I know Malix is excited for Ghost Recon, but yeah, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed this press conference and this E3 as a whole, because again, we're closing down. And now, thank you everybody. I will be making a video on Monday going into this, but we hit 500 subscribers. We did it. We fucking did it. You did it, team. I don't know who that last 500 subscriber was. I was checking my Gmail, trying to find out who you were. I don't know who you were, but hopefully Gmail will tell me. But whoever you were, thank you. You get a very special mention, Mr. 500 subscriber. We did it. We made it. Next big milestone. Done. We did it, team. Roundup. You all did great. You all did fantastic. And I'll be making 2 full videos. I'll be making the subscriber special itself, which is just a silly little video where I celebrate, and then I'll be making a video where I actually talk to you guys more in depth about the future of this channel. But we did it. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it so much. But I don't want to get into that because I don't want to drag the video on, and 500 is for its own separate video. But thank you so much. So you won't hear any kind of like, oh come on, keep subscribing. We made it, so now you're not gonna hear me whining for 1 extra subscriber till 750. So we've got 250 people to go till then. But if you do enjoy the content and you want to see more, then make sure you don't miss out by pressing the subscribe button. But again, we don't need to do that because we got the 500, so we're golden for a while. But again, thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one.